How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my workshop, which is a bit of a mess, but don't worry about that. Not important. I'm just doing some much needed sorting, and, well, yeah. I got 3 packs here, but let's start off with that. Why do I have 3 packs? Well, I went to my LGS to drop off some food for a food bank drive. What do you call it? A food donation drive, I believe it's called. But yeah, I dropped off some food for that, some canned food, and I bought 2 packs. For the armory tonight, the food donation was the buy-in, and I suppose you got a pack, for participating. Well, I couldn't participate, but I still got the pack, so that's pretty cool. So I figured, hey, let's open these 3 packs, and while we're at it, let's talk about High Octane. Because High Octane and Count Your Blessings are the 2 most talked about cards. Mostly Count Your Blessings, but High Octane's still there as well, and as someone who loves playing Mechanologist, why not talk about one of my favorite cards? So High Octane is looking at a potential ban in Flesh and Blood's near future. Why? To be honest, I can't say for sure, other than people seem to think it's too strong. And I think, is it? Maybe. It's definitely a good card. So if you're not familiar, High Octane is a Mechanologist action, blocks for 3, pitches for 1, cost 1 that says, draw a card. Every time you boost this turn, gain 1 action point. So you can kind of see already how this card wants to work. You're going to play it, pitching a card usually, though there are other ways. Drawing a card to replace at least one of the cards you used, and then worst case scenario, you'll have 2 cards in hand that you can boost, and then you'll be at 3 action points. Not bad, but that's not why people want it banned. It's actually because a certain hero, can actually really abuse it to get multiple action points with a weapon that only requires action points. I'm talking about Dio. With Dio and Symbiosis Shot, though Dash IE can do it too, just not as good. You can fill up your Symbiosis Shot with 6 bullets, because that's the max you can go. And then as long as you have 6 action points, you're always going to threaten your opponent for 12. On top of everything you did that turn. Now that's a shoot the moon situation. Either way, people want this card banned, and I can see why for that only reason there is because of Dio. But I have an argument. I have a counter argument. I can argue that High Octane is not an unfair card. In fact, I'd argue High Octane is a very fair card in a world of broken cards. Do I think High Octane's powerful? Oh yeah, 100%. Easily the strongest mech card, as long as you're playing a boost-focused build, which, let's face it, if you're playing mech... hang on. I believe I'm recording, but I'm not showing video. So I'll be right back. Is the flux capacitor okay? Okay, I believe I'm back. So yeah, that froze for a bit. So as I was saying, High Octane is a powerful card, but is it an unfair card? And I argue no. And I'm going to give you a few arguments as to why not only should High Octane not be banned, but unless Dio becomes this oppressive force in the meta... Yeah, wait, what was I saying? Not only should High Octane not be banned, but unless Dio becomes an oppressive force in the meta, High Octane really shouldn't be seen as that bad of a card. Because let's face it, High Octane is only being criticized right now because of Dio. It's been in the game for a long time. High Octane came out in Arcane Rising, which means Dash IE, Data Doll and Blitz, which Data Doll's only kind of good now, and all the other mechs who all came out recently have always had access to this card. And none of them have really made meta relevance outside of Dash IE making a few wins every now and then. But besides that, that's it. And High Octane really did help in some of the builds. Not so much in the pistol only builds, but in some of the boost mix builds, High Octane was always there. I argue that High Octane is not something to be considered a broken unfair card because, unlike most of the other broken unfair combos in Flesh and Blood, High Octane has a huge problem, and that is, if High Octane fails, you've lost the game. Now before you say, well, isn't that all combos? Well, no, not really, and we'll get into that when we talk about the mech playstyle. In the mech boost playstyle, or even in most mech playstyles, your goal is to beat your opponent before you run out of cards. Not a lot of heroes actually have that problem, and even Teklo Vossen arguably doesn't have that problem either, despite being a mech. But most heroes don't have to worry about losing half their deck every time they play a game. And Dio does actually burn through quite a bit of her deck. Most Dio builds focus on boosting and items. They don't have any, like, there's the Dash IE pistol build, which is a bit different, but I haven't seen any Dio pistol builds out there. And maybe they're there. We just don't see them. But have you seen in the World Finals, the World Championship Finals, the two Dios, Sam and Alan, who made it to the top semifinals, almost decked out on each of their decks before winning their quarterfinals. And while High Octane definitely made a difference in those games, had they not actually had the explosive turn, they would have decked out a long time ago. They would have lost that game, and we would have saw a World Finals of, well, we probably would have saw the same thing, but instead the quarterfinals, the semifinals would have just been Illusionists and Runeblades. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, and a new, one new. And it just, how many other heroes have this problem where I have to use a strategy or I lose? Well, you could argue a lot of them do, but how many of them will deck out if their strategy fails? If you see Dash or Dio played at High Octane, of course you're going to block everything, because you know if they can't kill you on this High Octane turn, their deck's done. Their deck's probably this big, 3 cards big, after that turn's over, which means they're going to lose. Happens to me, happens to a lot of people. I've seen Dios and Dash decks win the last turn. It happens to all of us mech players. We know the risk. That's why we do it. Our goal is not to get your life to 0 easily. Our goal is to get your life to 0 before our deck runs out, because it's the only way we can keep up. So High Octane, it's a powerful card, but it's Crouching Tiger. It's not a Crouching Tiger. It's a powerful card, but I think it's a perfectly fine powerful card, especially since it helps mechs actually reach top level. Now, if ever the day comes that Dio is so powerful that High Octane becomes this card that just decimates top 8s of any event and all we see are Dios everywhere, yeah, I can see you banning the card. Ellis says it's fine. Or at the very least, what do you call it? You can remove it from the game until Dio LLs. Because I don't see any other mech abusing this card. But really think about it before you ban the card. Just don't ban the card because, oh, it's a powerful card. You need powerful cards in the game to make the game fun. That's the reason why bans usually happen after big events, but also why some cards don't get banned despite the fact that they're still pretty powerful. Sonata Arcanix, I believe, is the Runeblade card, where that you only have to pay 2, and you can look at the top 4 cards of your deck and deal arcane damage to someone and get attack actions in your hand. Pretty powerful card. Not seeing banned anytime soon. Channel Lightning Valley. Arguably a somewhat powerful card, can be played in your opponent's turn, and then on your turn, you can just hit your opponent once and draw a card. And as long as you pitch a lightning card, it's around for 1 or 2 turns. Powerful card. Art of War got banned. We're not going to talk about that one. What else is there? Oh, Ranger. Azalea has a card. Azalea has one card that all it says is, if it hits your opponent, they can only do one thing their turn. Oh, we can't ban that. Why? Well, because otherwise Rangers wouldn't have any powerful car. Oh. See, mechanologists need High Octane to keep up. And that's not to say we can't build around it. Like, I'm sure someone out there has a crazy Dash IO build that just hasn't been to a tournament and it doesn't run High Octane at all. But maybe I'm speaking fantasy, who knows. Let's look at these last cards. I just hope they don't ban it. If they do, I'll accept whatever happens. A little bit of a cold. It looks like we're not going to see too much in these 3 packs. Ooh, yeah. These 3 packs were a bust. But hey, what are you going to do? We got a Crouching Tiger out of it. Anyways, I've been the Mad Mechanologist rambling about High Octane, even though the video cut out at some point. If you think it has to go, I get it. I know what you're coming at, but I hope we can see High Octane last for a while. At the very least, have it come back and not be gone forever, because High Octane is such a good card that could totally fail on you if you're not doing it right. And really, it's the only mech card that can say, I'm in the broken tier. Because let's face it, mechs play way too fair compared to other classes. You get the ninja playstyle, but half a deck, and you got the guardian playstyle, but you have to use items that which you can't block. Mechs are the kind of the jack of all trades, master of none, and High Octane's the one card that says, I could compete. Anyways, I've been the Mad Mechanologist rambling at the end. I'm going to clean this mess up and work on editing a video after this one, because I haven't uploaded in a while. Have a good day, and I'm going to go work on something else.